Uncivilized Vitality, and this is a short sort of a bonus video to go with the Manitou Island series, and this has to do with your day pack or haversack. Okay, so we talked about, I had mentioned in one of the earlier videos about stuff to bringing a small day pack or haversack, so if we do base camp, drop our stuff, we can walk away and take the essentials. So obviously you're going to have your small waist pack on you at all times. This is going to contain your first aid kit, your ID, a glow stick, a whistle, and emergency fire starter, maybe your secondary knife. Got to have this on you at all times, but I am going to set it over there. Now you might want to take a few more essentials besides just what I would have on my person constantly if I walked away, right? The other thing I would put in my full-time, or in my haversack, or just a small amount to walk around, is going to be, I've got my first aid kit. The next most important thing will be shelter. So shelter, I'm going to have my poncho in this small kit, and I'll have my wool buff, which I don't have on me, but let's substitute this. So for extra warmth, I would have a wool buff, and I would have my poncho for shelter. Next is water. I'm gonna have my life straw on me, steel canteen, and a cup. This way, I gotta have water to drink when I'm on those little small day hikes anyway, but it's actually water in here. So I got the canteen before I go. Now, I would also suggest at least one fast rope and a carabiner. And then I carry a small bag, roll of twine or a hank of paracord. I just grabbed this. And then a little waterproof bag or a heavy duty sack, right? Because I can use this for all sorts of things. I could use this to gather stuff up. I could put all these items in there, right, which I'll do now for demonstration purposes, right? I could put all those in there and have this bag with me and just sort of latch it like that. Sometimes I'll do that and I'll just hook my my fast rope up through that, or clamp that to my belt if I have a water pouch on my belt. The other thing you can do is make a quick haversack, and this is where the hood really shines. Not only can I wear this as an extra layer or just draped around my neck, we've seen this hundreds of times. I just throw my items in there, give the hood a little twist, right? And now I've got all my gear, a little haversack. I prefer to have all this stuff gathered in a small waterproof bag in case I have to put my hood to another use, like for warmth or to sit on, or I had to do something else with it. I don't have a bunch of loose material laying around. So the hood does really well as the haversack. I can also make a haversack or a drop bag out of my standard Moreygami. I think we've seen that. If not, we'll link Rendell's excellent video where you put, you make the triangle, you tie the top, you tie the two ears to your fast rope or another Moreygami, and you make a backpack. That's also excellent for carrying, or the drop bag. Should I do this thing where Rendell puts a tag up there in production? Okay, so she'll put that tag up to some of the other videos. This one's not as quick as the hood. It's not as much material as the Multihood in the shemaugh, in case I have to use this for, let's say, I'm gonna make, I don't have my hat and I need to make a head covering or wrap it around my neck or make a belt or something out of it. So something I've recently been very enthusiastic about is the, what is it, the Peshtemal? I don't remember the name. So the shemaugh, that's the name for the Moreygami from the Mediterranean cultures. The Turkish towel has a name like that too, Peshtemal or something. Somebody put it in the comments if you know. I guess I could Google it. But the Turkish towel gives me more cloth than the Moreygami, and it's just as versatile as the hood. It's almost as quick as the hood, and I'm going to show you how I could do that. One, I could have my Turkish towel just around my neck. Obviously I can use it for a towel. I could tie it around my waist and just wear that around, fold it neatly if I wanted to. So now I've got my material here. I can roll the items up in it I need and make the the Wanderer pack. Remember, we named that pack for Lynn that one time. So I put my items in here. Let's go this way. And I can roll them up in the Turkish towel lengthwise. And then I've made a fanny pack of sorts. All right? So I could carry my items back there and just throw my towel around my waist. Now that's one thing you can't do with the hood because it's a sewn hoop, right? So the hood is kind of predestined for certain configurations, right? Because it's sewn in a hoop, so it doesn't do as well in the belt configuration. Okay? But if I don't want that around my belt or around my waist, because maybe I'm running my waist pack already, I can take these items out. And maybe I like the standard haversack like I do with my hood. Take the length of my Turkish towel, the long end, and join the two same side corners with a small mamasubi, or a square knot. Okay? Left over right, right over left. Go to the opposite long edge, gather those two corners, same thing, small square knot. I've tried with the blanket pin before, but the knots seem to hold better and are more forgiving on the cloth. So now I've made a smaller sort of hoop or a hood, and with those knots being that tight because they take up a lot of space, I don't really need as much twisting as I do with the multi-hood. I'll just wrap them up a little bit, throw that over, and there's my, sorry microphone, and there's my hood, right? There's my haversack made out of my towel. And once again, if I have to use the towel, we go in the water or something happens, or I have to tear it and use it for binding agents or whatever, I have that little waterproof bag with all my stuff, my snacks and my minimalist gear, pockets and pouch level, and my water bottle. Okay. Now let me show you one other thing about the Turkish towel besides just its multifunctional carrying options. Just because I'm bully on the Turkish towels lately. Now if you took a Turkish towel, a shemaugh, and a hood, you'd probably be ready for everything. But I'm trying to cut down on the gear I take. So look for a Turkish towel that's about a perfect rectangle, or as close as you can get, so when you fold it, you get as close to a square configuration as you can. And you'll see, if I can hold the shemaugh up, corresponding corner, it's just about the same size as a standard shemaugh. Now you see, fold of the Turkish towel is not quite as big, right? Length and width is smaller, and the cloth is a little thicker, but I can use this in many of the same ways I used my shemaugh. I get that somewhat square, fold into that traditional triangular shape, and let's say I forgot my hat and it's real sunny, I need a head cover. I throw that Turkish towel up and it'll make a slightly thicker version of the traditional head covering. So I come around here and tuck that in, and then wrap that around, bring that around the other side, get it tucked in behind there. We have other videos about this, the head wrap, but now I've made kind of a, is that a little bee?
Yeah, you have some bees around you.
That's all right, they love me, it's kind of so sweet. So now I've got covering across the back of my neck, I've got covering over the top of my ears and the top of my head, which is more of a problem for me being follicularly challenged. I don't know what that bee wants. Come on, guy. So you can do this. I can make the hood with it just like I do the shemaugh. It's a little thicker. If it's hot out, I can roll this into the same sort of neckerchief I do with the shemaugh. Dip this in the icy cold water and just drape that down your neck while it's wet. Is another advantage over the shemaugh. Slightly thicker, holds the water slightly longer, and the evaporative cooling really helps out. Okay. I can take just the triangle part and just drape that loosely over my head instead of going all the way to the turban. And this gives me a nice, hopefully I didn't cover that. This gives me a nice blockage from the sun too, even a little hood. You soak this and throw it up here. This is really nice walking. So, several things you can do with the Turkish towel. The pros and cons to both, but it's almost as fast a haversack as the hood. It's a little more, it's almost as fast as the haversack when you're trying to make a secondary piece of clothing, right? Like maybe your pants got wet, right? So I can drop into my hood really quick. I can hold this in my teeth and change when I'm around others and there's no tree to hide behind. Your Turkish towel works much the same way. It's not as easy to change in it as the hood, but it does make the same sort of improvised garment pretty quick, pretty fast. Okay. I can then change my bathing suit in this if I move it up, or I could tie this between two trees and have a little screen to change. Okay. And it offers distinct advantages over the shemaugh, being it's a little more cloth like the hood. I can do everything I can do with this and a little quicker. The only disadvantage vis-a-vis the standard size shemaugh is that it's a little bulkier, but not much. So check out those three. We're going to this Manitou Island trip. Maybe bring a Turkish towel, standard Moreygami, shemaugh, and a hood with you, a multi-hood, and try the three out and see which one you get the most use out of. So that's it for this video. Hopefully that was a short bonus video, because I know people are going to ask me about the Turkish towels again. So what we call the shemaughs, we call those Moreygamis because of my last name, and I'm obsessed. We'll have to come up with something clever for the towel. Morey towel doesn't, that just sounds weird. Maybe we'll call it an uncivilized towel. That's a good idea. So leave some comments below, some other ways you can think of to use the towel. Check out the links to Rendell's excellent videos about the shemaugh as a drop pouch or a pack. And we've got many, many videos about the multi-hood. So that's it. Go back and make sure you get your minimalist checklist and the stuff in your personal pack that's on you at all times for safety. And I think that's it. Like, share, subscribe.